Sir.
6:30, I would like to call to order the town board and the public budget hearing for.
Thank you. I'll just give a brief rundown of the budget for 2024. I didn't include the slides in your packet, but if you can look up here, I just wanted to include the budget itself. But if you want a copy, well, it's online. So this is just the general overview of the budget. This is the first page of the budget, and this is not the publication, but the notice that goes out 2 weeks before this meeting. It shows the breakdown from all the revenues and all the expenditures. There are different parts that make up the budget, including this page, the replacement fund, park and rec donation fund, the impact fees, debt service, and debt. Just some comparisons for 2024 on where your tax dollars go. We don't have the final numbers from Waukesha County, but from what I understand, they only increased a little bit from last year, so this is pretty close. But this shows the percentage of where your tax bills go, whether you're on sewer or whether you're not on sewer. Either way, 14% of your taxes go to the town. This is the mill rate comparison. Obviously, a substantial increase from last year. That was based on the referendum that we passed. And then some of that is debt service rate as well. This is just a general comparison of the increase from 23 to 24 based on your property values. You can see a $500,000 house. The cost per year is $881, and the increase is $158.42. The revenue comparisons from this year's budget to next year's budget, you can see a substantial increase in taxes due to the referendum, and a general overall increase of 21%. There was some reduction in revenue in licenses and permits. That is because of the sale of liquor licenses, which we're anticipating, and some reduction in building permit revenue as well. And these are the expenditure comparisons. General government increase in 4.63. We'll go through some of these individually, but the bottom line increase in expenditures, 15.05%. The big increase there is at 35.33% from public safety. You'll notice a reduction of about 21% in public works. That is because we took the capital improvements projects and put them in capital improvements where they belong. So there was $0 in capital in 23, so that's where that 20% went to. And this just gives a breakdown of each division and what percentage of that budget it encompasses. And you can see public works, that also includes that big capital expenditure of $655,000, so that's why you see that as over 54%. The general fund summary dating back from 2020 to our anticipated 2024. You can see the increase of over $400,000 over the last 5 years. The percentages fluctuate back and forth, but that's because they're a percentage of the town's revenue. So that's why, even though we're at 1.7 million, it's still at 37% because of that increased revenue, mainly from the referendum. The replacement fund, we're anticipating $105,000 from this year that we're transferring over to 2024, and that's why you see a bigger dollar amount of $655,000 for road projects next year. Typically, it's at $550,000. That way, we can get some additional roads done that we weren't anticipating doing. We're adding $40,000 to the highway truck fund. This was possible because we had increased government aid, I would say. I can't think of the shared revenue. Thank you. We increased shared revenue of just over $200,000, so that it enabled us to, instead of using our replacement fund to supplement the cost of the police department's 5-day-a-week contract, we were able to take those funds and put them in a different fund. And what we want to do is save up money for highway trucks so that we don't have to borrow for them in the future. So that's what we're doing there. And then any funds that we don't spend out of that $470,000 referendum money, we will put in the replacement fund for future fire department expenses that we don't see coming down the road. And to prolong, if we do need to do another referendum, hopefully that can push us down the road a little bit longer. And on the bottom, I have the projected totals for 2024's replacement fund. These show our debt service payments that we have. Most of them are road rehab. We did have an equipment piece from 2021. That was our Mechalak. We have our bonds that are in there for this building. We had a plow truck that was purchased back in 2019. And we also had a truck that was purchased almost 3 years ago. General government increases are 4.64, not 4.63%. Postage is a big part, salaries, dues and memberships. Elections are increasing substantially. We have 4, including 2 presidentials, I'd call it. General buildings, we're increasing by 1.23%. Insurance rates are increasing, and we just signed an assessor contract, which also went up just over 3%. Public safety, police contract went up 3.3%, and we're going to be in the second year of our 5-day-a-week police service contract. Lake Country Fire and Rescue increase went up 47.6%. And building inspection, we're anticipating a decrease in 3.57%. That's just due to the market and building slowing down at this point. Public Works, a decrease of 42.8%. That is due to those capital improvement projects being put off into capital. There were wage increases of 3%, and that did not include increase for deferred compensation change to WRS. In insurance increase of 25.83%. That is not the increase from 23 to 24, but we have an employee that will be eligible in April for insurance because he turns 26, I believe. So we'll have to account for that and add that to the budget, which we did. And that just explains the road rehab being taken out of that budget. Capital expenditures, we're still looking, we have 2 trucks on order, and this is still with our ARPA funds. One is waited to be outfit at Burke, and we anticipate it probably not until the end of winter, unfortunately. They have 4 or 5 other trucks ahead of ours that they have to outfit. So we have another truck on order for a chassis that they were supposed to begin building in mid-November, and I'll have to check with the highway department to see if that's still the case. If there's anticipated delays, I've talked to the highway superintendent about purchasing a loader instead of a plow truck, because we have a plow already purchased that can outfit onto a loader and can work just as well. So we're in discussions, but it depends on how long of a wait the truck will be. If it's not going to happen until after 2025, then we have to consider other options. And we're not the only ones suffering from that. A lot of other communities are as well.
What's the number of vehicles so far? I mean, in our
fleet?
Yeah.
Probably 12. We have 5 full-time, and then we have part-time as well.
Okay.
I could be wrong, actually. I think it's more like 10.
Are we
But-
on a buying power with like all the other towns when we look to do this? Are we kind of on our own when we source this kind of stuff?
Obviously, the really big ones that order 5 or 6 chassis at a time, they probably have a little bit more sway, but every township that's our size is going to be in the same boat. We have to order, and we ordered 2. A lot of places don't order 2; they only order 1 at a time. But everyone's waiting on chassis. I mean, if you ask Matt Fennig, the ladder truck took 2.5 years, and they still don't have it. So,
And as far as like the buying power, we get the government rates and the.
That's what I
we
meant.
get the government discounts, but a lot of those government discounts are starting to get less and less because of the demand. So the prices are astronomical compared to what That used to be. We used to be able to get a truck outfitted for 185,000 6 years ago, and now that's up to 250 at least. I mean, we're looking at one that's probably gonna be closer to 260.
And with the government discount, it doesn't matter if we find another town that's also ordering them and we just get the order in and put 5 in or something like
The
that.
demand is so high, they're all
Doesn't matter.
the same price,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
unfortunately. And that is it. And then this is just, sure.
What was the purpose for going capitalization of $655,000?
So,
Public Works?
sure, so those are for road projects, and road projects, we borrow a portion for those road projects, and the life expectancy of a road is anywhere from 10 to 20 years, so we capitalize it, and that was the purchase, or the purpose of it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great job, Dan.
Yep, it looks good.
Thank you.
Or no other questions, I'd look for an adjournment of the public hearing, and we got the public hearing.
Motion first or adjournment?
No, we're good.
No, you just adjourn it.
Does anybody want to speak at the public hearing regarding the? Okay. Look for an adjournment of the public hearing in the town board meeting?
Move to adjourn the public, or, town board and budget public hearing.
Second?
Second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned from that. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of electors pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 65.90 paren 3. And with that, I would look for an approval of the minutes from the November 15th, 2022 special town board meeting. And this is the one opportunity where the audience actually gets to participate.
I so move.
Motion is second to approve the minutes from the 15th meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next order of business would be the adoption of the 2023 town tax levy to be paid in '24 pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 60.10 paren 1 paren A. And the motion that we would look to seek is up on the screen.
Move to approve the 2023 town tax levy of $2,930,122 to be paid in 2024 pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 60.10 paren 1 paren A.
A second.
Motion is second to approve the levy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item would be to adjourn the, that meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Do we have, oh, there's this separate, there it is, okay. Move to adjourn the, which meeting are we in now?
The budget meeting.
Budget meeting.
Second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody. We're just going to roll into the town board meeting. So I would like to call to order the Town of Delafield Town Board of Supervisor meeting for Tuesday, November 14th. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Green, if you will take the roll call, please.
Sure. Supervisors Mahoney Ogden,
Present.
Miller,
Present.
Wolfley,
Present.
Chairman Kranek.
Present.
Thank you.
Next item would be citizens' comments. Those would be public comments from citizens regarding items on or not on the agenda. The board may not engage in discussion with citizens making said comments. Individual presentations are limited to 3 minutes, and citizens shall follow the rules set forth in section 2.04 paren 1 paren D of the town code. Would anybody like to give any public comments this evening? Being no public comments, I will roll into item 5, the approval of the minutes. I would look for a motion to approve the October 10th, 2023 town board minutes.
I motion to approve October 10th town minutes.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is actions on vouchers submitted for payment. There are no motions to amend the 23 budget, so I will look for a motion to approve the accounts payable and payroll.
Motion to approve payment of checks 67107 through 67111 and 67113 through 67140 in the amount of $144,766.62, and checks 6708, 67088 through 67106 in the amount of $40,159.53. Additionally, the recommendation, do you want them separate?
You can do the payroll together.
For the payroll checks dated October 27th of 2023 in the amount of $15,354.51, and payrolls dated November 10th, 2023 in the amount of $15,571.05.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the accounts payable and the payroll. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is communication from the Department of Revenue, notice of noncompliance letter on the assessment ratio. This is something that we spoke about with the assessor when we had our board of review meeting. We anticipated receiving this letter due to our assessment ratio being out of compliance from the Department of Revenue, which would encourage us to, or require us to do a reassessment. And we plan on doing that reassessment in 2025, and we have already signed the contract to do that.
Just, I guess, because I've never seen one of these letters. Pretty standard letter, right? Exactly what we're expecting and everything, right?
It's in the
I didn't know what
packet,
it looked like, but
I mean,
that's what it looks
well,
like.
I've never seen a different one. I didn't know if they have any other, like, same one, so,
Give you 2 years to come into compliance, and that's our warning, so.
wonderful. Yep.
And we already signed a contract for the reval, so it's
Yep.
coming.
So no action needed, correct? Nope.
Next item would be the unfinished business, discussion and possible action on the 2024 Lake Country Fire and Rescue operating budget. So, as everybody is aware, should be aware, we went to the city of Delafield about a month ago and raised some questions and concerns about how they had calculated their emergency service equivalent count. We felt that they had some additional dollars on the table that they could come up to fill the gap and come to the compromise that the town of Delafield had presented to them 6 weeks prior, or probably like 6 weeks ago, to meet at the 4.2 budget number, to have them come up from their 386 budget where they were at. So they did some work behind the scenes. They looked at their model. They looked at some of the comments and the information that we had given them, and they found an additional $119,425. So that would equate to in the exhibit for our item.
4,146,586.
Yeah.
The total, right?
Yeah.
Okay, correct. Got it.
Yeah, so that would make the municipal contribution for the 2024 Lake Country Fire and Rescue operational budget at the 4,146,586. And then if we take the anticipated cost savings for this year, we take 53,414, that's how we get to the $4.2 million budget for Lake Country Fire and Rescue, which would allow the additional hiring of 3 fire personnel in 2024.
And maintaining the
And-
hired ones,
Yeah,
correct?
and maintain the 7 for this year. So it's been a frustrating exercise for all involved, but at the end of the day, I think we got to, we're the best that we're gonna get. So, I would, look for a motion,
Can I have a question? I have a
Sure,
question.
sure.
How off was the city of Delafield on the number of, on their count for ESC units or
It was that 130-some thousand, right? Or what?
Yeah, it was they found the additional 109. I have that, I can get that to you, I just don't have that on top of my head right now.
Okay.
Or
And then
50.
just for the record, isn't, I mean, just in case, I mean, any of the citizens or, you know, my understanding from Chief Fennig is that it isn't all bad that we're not hiring everybody right now, because it kind of spreads out and maybe allows for more quality hires. So I think it's not an all bad thing that
No,
we're
it's
not
n-
doing everybody right now. So I think that's
No.
just kind of important to note publicly, that that's one of the maybe takeaways from this, is that it gives us a chance to really make sure we have quality hires.
Yeah, it slows down the board-approved staffing plan and allows us to make sure that we have quality candidates to add to the fire department.
But it's also clearly a win over what
Definitely.
they were
Yeah,
stuck on, so.
since May.
Yep,
So,
yep, yeah.
And then the capital budget, something separate, and our contribution of the capital budget, the town of Delafield's contribution to the capital budget is $211,920. So I would, do you have anything else to add, Dan?
No, there's a motion sheet, so I would recommend just making the motion as the recommendation on the cover sheet from the LCFR budget. And Ed can read that motion if you don't have it, but
I-
everyone should have it.
Motion to approve the 2024 Lake Country Fire and Rescue operating budget as presented. From Fire Chief Fenning's recommendation, contribution, total municipal contribution of $4,146,586, with the town of Delafield's contribution being $938,361.67, and approval of the capital budget totaling $883,000, with the town of Delafield's contribution being $211,920.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the fire chief's recommended approval for the 2024 budget. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
Wonderful.
Next item would be the discussion and possible action on the liquor license agreement with the city of Delafield for Brunch LLC. This was tabled on September 12th, 2023. So the first action would be to remove it from the table.
Motion to remove the liquor license proposal to the sale of the city of Delafield for Brunch LLC.
Second.
Motion is second to remove it from the table. I would look for a motion to approve the agreement as presented. As I mentioned earlier, the city has come up, and I think we've come to an agreement on how to settle 2024.
Can we get a vote on the removing from the table?
Oh, yeah, we have a motion and a second to remove it from the table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
Opposed, motion carries. It's now removed from the table.
And I motion to approve the liquor license agreement with the City of Delafield Brunch.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the liquor license transfer agreement for Brunch LLC to the city of Delafield. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. We will transfer the liquor license to the city of Delafield. Next item, new business, discussion and possible action on the approval of an intermunicipal agreement with Lake Country Fire and Rescue to exceed the CPI plus 2% restriction to the operating budget for 2024. The amendment is in front of you. It should look very similar to the other amendments that this body has passed. What this does is this creates an exception to exceed the CPI plus 2 restriction that's in the agreement for 2024. And then instead of trying to do a lot of wordsmithing and overcomplicate the amendment, we refer to the operating budget as outlined in Appendix A, which shows a municipal contribution for the 2024 LCFR operating budget of $4,146,586. There is a revenue line of $1,967,088, and then that fund balance contribution, which is that anticipated cost savings of $53,500. $414, which gives LCFR a total operating budget of $6,167,088. So I would look for a motion to approve the IMA if there are no questions.
Motion to approve the IMA amendment.
A second.
We have a motion and a second on the table to approve the First Amendment to the Lake Country Fire and Rescue Intermunicipal Agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Awesome. The next item is discussion and possible action on the renewal of the line of credit for Lake Country Fire and Rescue as established in Article 5, Section R of the intermunicipal agreement. I will turn this over to Administrator Green to explain this one.
Yeah, so every year we have a line of credit with Lake Country Fire. This is in case of an emergency where they haven't had to use it since we've been here, but if there is some type of emergency or a financial reason where they don't have funds and they need to come up with money quickly, then all of the communities sign a letter of credit so they have up to a certain dollar amount that they can pull and then reimburse us when those funds come back. So like I said, they haven't needed to, but this can happen if, let's say, they don't have revenues from our contributions because we don't pay them until January and February. If for some reason something comes up in that time, that they'd have a letter of credit that they can extend.
And that amount is $500,000?
I believe that is the amount.
Yes.
Okay. How is it determined?
Same as the funding formula. So our percentage would be the 21%, I believe.
And no, I mean, this is just the standard stuff from the prior IMAs for the line of
Yeah,
credit.
we've done it. We've approved two previous ones.
Yep, okay. Motion to approve the renewal of the Lake Country Fire Rescue line of credit as established in Article 5, Section R of the IMA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the line of credit for Lake Country Fire and Rescue. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is discussion and possible action on the adoption of a resolution for inclusion under group life insurance to include employee trust funds, basic group life insurance program.
Sure. So this is part of that WRS change that we're going to. This is regarding group life insurance. Currently, through Principal, we pay a premium for life insurance of $25,000 per employee. This will increase it to 1 year's salary. The rates are lower than what we pay through Principal. And it's just a better option for employees to also extend that coverage on their own if they so wish. So my recommendation is approval, considering it will save the town money and it's a better program and better coverage for our employees.
A motion to approve.
I got a quick
Oh,
question.
question,
So, this is your group life application piece, right? Or is this what the sample of like what a
That
full-time
is
employee would sign?
part of the, which
letter of
page?
credit.
That's the letter of credit. Keep going.
No, this one.
Oh, that one. This is the resolution to enter in, so we are choosing the
okay.
basic group life
Right,
insurance.
so this is not, once you've selected that, the employee doesn't have an option to add any of these.
They can
these
add it
additional
on their own, but
Okay.
that is just what we're providing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, good. It's good. It's great. It's, group life insurance is dirt cheap, and I think it's great that we're getting them a much better benefit and for cheaper, so. Motion to approve the, employer resolution to pay, action to adoption of resolution for inclusion under group life insurance to be included in ETF's basic group life insurance program.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the resolution for inclusion under group life insurance to be included under ETF's basic group life insurance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is item D, That is discussion and possible action on the adoption of employer resolution to pay the entire premium of basic group life insurance for qualified full-time employees effective January 1, 2024.
This goes right in from the previous item. This is saying that the town is going to pay for that basic 1-year salary of life insurance. Any supplemental insurance that they want to add beyond that would be on the employees' dime.
I motion, unless there's questions, for the adoption of the employer resolution to pay the entire premium of the basic group life insurance for the full-time employees effective January 1, 24.
A second.
Motion is second to approve the employer resolution to pay the entire premium of basic group life insurance for qualified full-time employees effective January 1, 2024. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, here's to follow the previous agenda items. Discussion of possible action on the adoption of a resolution for inclusion under the income continuation insurance plan.
Sure, so this will replace our short-term disability that we also currently pay through Principal with our life insurance coverage. ETF actually has a premium holiday, so there's no cost to this coverage. And they've been on one for the past, I think, 6 years. So we're getting a free benefit that we were paying before, and now we're not going to. So I would recommend approval.
Well, I'm gonna approve it, but it doesn't have the, do you know what the benefit is? Like, what the benefit period and elimination period are?
I do not. I can learn more from that.
Curious.
This is the preliminary, just getting into, and then once we sign these, they start going over all the
Gotcha.
finite details. But a lot of municipalities use this. I know my wife used it in her previous job, and I think LCFR actually uses it too. So it is a very good program to get into, and that's kind of one of the benefits of joining ETF through WRS is you get some of these that you wouldn't normally. So if we weren't in WRS, we wouldn't even be able to apply for these benefits.
Right,
So.
right. No, it's great. It's just again, you're in my wheelhouse now. It's,
Yeah, I know. Man, I wish we'd have an insurance agent on the
Right. Motion to approve the adoption of resolution for inclusion under the income continuation insurance plan.
Second.
Just second to adopt the resolution of inclusion under the income continuation insurance plan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item would be discussion and possible action on the adoption of the Town of Delafield 2024 operating and capital budget. Dan presented that during the previous meeting. There's not much we really do in the town. We provide public safety through our 40-hour-a-week police contract with the Waukesha Sheriff's Department. We contract our fire and EMS services through Lake Country Fire and Rescue. There was a referendum that was passed last April to increase their funding to help alleviate the staffing crisis that they're are experiencing, and thankful that town residents passed that and allowed us to increase our tax levy by $470,000. We plow our roads, we collect garbage, we try to maintain our roads the best we can, and Dan and his staff run the office here and run the elections, and that's pretty much what we do as a town.
Parks.
And yeah, and park and rec, but not a lot of frills here. So I mean, that's why the mill rate's what the mill rate's at.
121% increase.
Yeah, well, we had 2 small elections this year, so it's an increase from year to year. So next year in 2025, that cost is going to go way down. You're going to probably see a 122% decrease in that budget. So yeah, it goes like this. You know, come on, you're here four times next year, 2 times the year after. So
Motion to approve the proposed Town of Delafield 2024 operating and capital budget.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt the 2024 operating and capital budget as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's adopted. Announcements and planning items. The town hall will be closed for the Thanksgiving holiday next Thursday, November 23rd, and Friday, November 24th. Tentatively, there's a town board scheduled for Tuesday, November 28th. There will be a plan commission on Tuesday, December 5th, and a town board meeting on Tuesday, December 12th.
And you say tentatively,
I don't know what we have on the agenda. I'm hopeful that the actions taken this evening clean up Lake Country Fire and Rescue, and we don't have to talk about that any further for 24. So yeah, I just don't know what else we have to do.
For the plan commission meeting, do we need to be present for any reason?
There may or may not be a joint public hearing. I'll email the board
Okay.
as soon as I know for sure.
Motion to adjourn?
second.
Motion is second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Nice meeting, huh?